Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome in to the ETR NBA DFS injury analysis show for this Thursday. What do we got? 7 games tonight. Solid size slate for a Thursday. Once again, you're stuck with me, Gary Hartman, filling in for the great Drew Dinkmeyer. But of course, joined as always by the injury news fantasy king, Mike Gallagher. How you doing, Mike?
Doing good. Got all my coach stuff done for today and tomorrow. Got a little hike in. Crammed it though. Actually, I said I was gonna wear my Dame jersey for the content today, but didn't have time to get changed. I pretty much sat down from hiking and have been working since. So you guys are stuck with what I wore hiking today. But cool. Yeah. Go the Blazers, man. Great win for them yesterday.
Dame is very much team F the math right now, as you know, he's continuing to crush our projections and just destroy the league right now. And you mentioned go check out the Established Run NBA podcast feed. Mike did a great solo pod last night, 3-ball style. Really enjoyed listening to it while I was getting some work done last night. So, broke down how good that Damian Lillard role is right now. Go check that out for free on all your podcast platforms. So we're a week out from the trade deadline. Some interesting games tonight. And, weirdly, probably a bigger injury report tonight on the 7-game slate than we had last night on what ended up being an 8-game slate. So why don't we dive right in? Let's start with questionable stuff. Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers. He's missed the last 10 games, been out since January 13th, is questionable today. I think we're expecting him to make his return. Daniel Tice also questionable. Talk me through some Pacers stuff here.
Yeah, let's start with Halliburton. So he's been out with elbow and knee injuries. So if you saw the injury, you were like, oh my God, is his knee going to keep him out months? It turns out his knee's been fine for the last few days. It sounded like almost a week, and his elbow is the problem. He's going to have a brace on tonight. It's his non-shooting elbow. Tyrese Halliburton said he can't straighten his arm. It is a non-shooting elbow again, so that kind of helps things. And he says he may not go left as much. Curious to see if the Lakers shade him that way with the elbow brace, given those comments. But I listened to his presser and Carlisle's presser, and before listening, I was like, okay, put him at 30. Maybe the knee doesn't want to be managed. We bumped him. He's at like 31 and a half minutes. I think he's got a shot to play full. Certainly a matchup that you like against the Lakers. The defense will be better against AD, but expecting him to start, obviously it's going to bump TJ McConnell out of the starting lineup. The next question would be, are they going to start Duarte? Because we saw them starting Andrew Nembhard. Duarte was playing pretty well, confident from the shooting and all that stuff. But I would think Nembhard takes over. And honestly, Nembhard's probably guarding LeBron. We've seen him guard Randall. We've seen him guard Kawhi. We've seen him guard Pascal Siakam. They are not afraid to put Andrew Nembhard on the biggest of guys. It may be Aaron Nesmith too, but it may be a little bit of a mixture. But I'm curious to see how they handle that. It's probably going to be Nesmith. But I think there'll actually be a little bit of Nembhard if they are playing bigger and, maybe putting Nembhard on Rui or something like that. We'll talk about the Lakers starters. But bottom line here, Halliburton, very decent chance he gets full minutes. Probably at worst, I would say, is getting 30, maybe 29. But full practice, he sounds like he's ready to go. He's been ramping up for a little bit from the elbow. So, and I'm expecting Nembhard. So the starting lineup of Halliburton, Nembhard, Buddy Hield, Aaron Nesmith, again, we'll probably start on LeBron. We'll see if that shakes out. If Nesmith's minutes come down a little bit to maybe get Duarte minutes. And then obviously Miles Turner would be guarding Anthony Davis. But excited to see Tyrese Halliburton back. 2-point spread, moved to 2.5. The Lakers look great. I'm sorry to say for you, but
no, that's all right.
Yeah, but we'll talk about the Knicks in a minute.
Yeah,
actually, we won't really, but we could talk about it.
There's not much. Maybe at the end we can touch on it. I mean, welcome news obviously for Pacers fans is, Indiana before he went down was right in the mix with the Knicks in like that 6, 7, 8 seed range. Now they've dipped down to right at the fringe of the play-in, but we'll see if Tyrese is back to himself right away. Do you expect the brace to be, impact him the way he plays like that, an elbow brace?
No. I mean, maybe a little,
Yeah.
I don't know. It is non-shooting, so, but not being able to straighten your arm for a guy that has a ball in his hands as much as him. Yeah, that's who's pretty adept going both hands. I think it could affect him a little bit, but that's something we're not going to project. We'll talk more about that on DFS show. I mean, I'm more if you had to tip the scales on the matchup versus the elbow, what do I think is a bigger factor? Matchup. I literally write matchups. So I think Halliburton's definitely in play. Curious to see what his price is and ownership is going to be like. But I actually have pretty high hopes for him today.
Cool. All right. Other side of that game, as you mentioned, the Lakers. AD, Patrick Beverly, probable. LeBron, once again, listed questionable with the ankle. Austin Reeves still out there. I guess, you expect LeBron to go, and then what do you expect the starting lineup to look like as well for the Lakers?
Yeah, that's the big question. We've seen LeBron have a lot of soreness, still went out there and played really well. Shout out to you for flag planting him on that slate. Goes for a triple-double, plays 43 minutes in overtime. They don't care. They're going to play him. Darvin Ham says all the time, looks at the stat sheet like, oh my God, I played him so many minutes. He's like the anti-Joe Mazzulla, man. I just got to share this quote. I'm getting ahead of myself. This will be on the show tomorrow, but they were asked about Tatum playing so many minutes. He's like, oh, how many minutes did he play? And he looks at his sheet. He's like, oh, 29. I should have played him the whole first half. Like, oh, God, I love Missoula. But anyways, yeah, LeBron will be starting. The next question is, who starts? We know Schroeder's going to start. We know LeBron's going to start. We know AD's going to start. I feel pretty confident that Rui Hachimura is going to start. There were comments from the guys, LeBron, saying that he wants to, quote, fit out Rui with them. You don't fit out someone unless you're going to start them. So I think that comment leads me to believe they're going to start Rui Hachimura. Some beats saying that, look, they want to put that be their playoff rotation. Godspeed on that. But 40 minutes, closed out, played pretty well, really good shot volume early, got good looks at the basket all night. So feel pretty good about him. The next question is Troy Brown or Patrick Beverly, who didn't play in the last game for a back-to-back manager. I would assume he's probable. So at first I was like, maybe Brown, but now that at first I was like, okay, maybe Brown, because I don't know if Tyrese Halliburton was going to play. This is like when we first found out. And then now that Halliburton's back, I'm kind of leaning Beverly and bringing Troy Brown off the bench. I think Beverly will disrupt a little bit more of the stuff that Halliburton likes to do. Troy's been great. We saw him have a big impact in the Nets game. They did lose, but had career high boards. So it's pretty close. I would teeny bit lean Patrick Beverly, but the fact that they put Schroeder on, because if you're starting Troy Brown, you're putting Schroeder on Halliburton, and I was shocked that Schroeder got the Brunson matchup, and I'm tilting. I was so tilted that I didn't insta bet Brunson overs when I saw that, because it just was such an easy spot for him.
Yeah.
I'm leaning Beverly, expecting him to pick up that assignment. I would assume Schroeder gets Andrew Nembhard. That kind of makes sense, and then everything kind of just goes down the line there. But yeah, very interesting. We'll see.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, Brunson was crushing in that game. Still angry that Tibbs didn't give him the ball in the end of regulation there. But I digress. I
literally answered this just to let you guys know about the elbow. So just scroll back 5 minutes. And I think he's going to play tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see how many minutes he goes. But it sounds like he's pretty close to full.
That's great. Other Q tags, Karis LeVert, I guess has hammy tightness. So that, that looms large for Cleveland's rotation. So any thoughts on LeVert's availability, and do you think Donovan Mitchell may still have his minutes capped as well?
Yeah, so midday downgrade for hamstring tightness, pretty ominous sign. It's not illness, ominous bad, but they got depth, right? We saw Jedi Osman's minutes get cut. Love was available, didn't play. Austin's minutes got cut really hard because, as we correctly called, Dean Wade was going to get the minutes in the second unit, even with LeVert there. He played 21. He didn't put up stats for us, but the role was there, and that's what we were kind of banking on with picking him there. But so LeVert being out, a lot of moving parts here. Number one, I think this affects Isaac Okoro's minutes in a kind of significant way. If you're a quick better, I saw his points line 7.5 at plus money right now. If LeVert gets ruled out, I'd probably rush to take that because I think he could play a lot. As LeVert, when Isaac Okoro doesn't get there, really two things are happening in this situation. One, Dean Wade could affect Isaac Okoro, which we saw a little bit in the last game, which we were on again because you're not really too worried about the on-ball stuff with the ball handler. You're more worried about Jimmy Butler, which Dean Wade picked up. Now, what are you worried about with Memphis? Especially with Bane being a little bit limited. You're worried about John Morant, obviously, and that's an Okoro matchup. We like these. They use Okoro against the SGAs, drive heavy-ish guards. So Okoro's minutes could be really, really strong, up-tempo game for Memphis. A lot of things could really go well for him there. But if LeVert's out, we would certainly be upping Jedi Austin's minutes, who we have really down right now. We have LeVert and we don't. If you guys don't know, we generally have guys in unless we feel pretty good about them missing. But Wade's minutes would get helped a little bit more as well. Not a big boost. Wade did play 21 in a back-to-back in the last one, so I think he's got a shot to play, mid-20s here. So we'll talk about him on the DFS show. But obviously, if LeVert can't miss, I think I covered that. But Donovan Mitchell was supposed to play around 30 minutes ideally. That didn't happen. He
No.
played 37 minutes, had a
Yeah.
pretty bad game. Miami's defense is really good. Shot a lot of three-point volume. Couldn't really get in the paint, which Bickerstaff talked a lot about, that they weren't really making the right play on offense. Only scored 97 points. But yeah, expecting full minutes from Donovan here.
Yeah, me too. That Okoro thing is really interesting. I'm not the biggest Okoro fan, but the guy shooting almost 48% from three in the month of January, clearly has turned it on from there. So 7.5 points without LeVert, he's going to take probably 3 to 5 threes if they're falling. Keep your eye out for that one. All right. Other Q tags, Aaron Gordon, obviously a big one for Denver there. They have a pretty big game tonight with Golden State at home. Obviously,
do they
back to back? I guess not. Right. But it should have been a fun game. Anyway, yeah. So expecting Aaron Gordon to go. Maybe they cautiously hold him out if Golden State sits their guys. What are you expecting from the Nugs there?
Yeah, I think that makes sense, right? I mean, he's listed with an ankle sprain. He got tweaked up a little bit late in the game. One didn't sound too concerned. Sounds like if this was a game where they really wanted to have it and they weren't 12-point favorites, maybe he goes. But decent chance he misses. Would definitely expect, kind of super sub Bruce Brown to sub in there. MPJ playing, actually a little bit better defense lately. So doesn't sound serious. If he goes, he'll probably be full if the game's close, which I don't think it's going to be. But don't have much besides that. But it does sound minor, so I think he's got a pretty good chance to go. We're certainly going to have him in for projections.
Cool. Yeah, we'll talk about the Warriors side towards the end of the show. All right, I think that does about for the questionable tags, probables, and returns. Marcus Morris been out for a little bit here, is questionable, still on the injury report, but I believe he had a quote that said he would play tonight. So you're expecting Mook to be back, right?
Yep, should be back. As I've been saying for a pretty solid week now, that he's missed a lot of time with this rib injury. So we'll see if he's brought back slowly. We saw them, which we were on, starting Luke Kennard in the last game. So I would expect that this man lineup sticks. Man's minutes have been cut a little bit because Norm Powell has been flaming. He's kind of your adjacent guy. We haven't called you Cash Game Gary in a while, but he's been cooking, man. You could plant Norm with a 6K tag and no ownership with the role he's had. This small ball lineup has been run out really long. Zoo was cooking in this game and didn't get too many minutes. We saw a lot of Batum down the stretch. I believe Batum subbed in mid-third quarter and went the rest of the game as the Bulls blew it. Typical Bulls. Sorry, Winky. But yeah, really strong minutes from Paul George. Pretty good amounts from Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson also had really long stints, really longest stints we've seen him. But Marcus Morris coming back, I think, would curtail that a little bit. I'm curious to see if this affects Reggie. It's not going to affect. It'll affect Norm's ceiling a little bit. But there's some comments from Lou about a month ago saying he didn't really like the fit of Luke, Reggie, and Kennard. So I'm curious to see. But I'm expecting Man to start, PG, Kawhi, Morris, and Zubats. But I wouldn't be shocked if Morris comes off the bench in his return.
Yeah, makes sense. Obviously, Clippers have a lot of way to go. They're pretty deep. Another game that should be a fun one, national TV in Milwaukee. Clips starting to look like what people maybe thought the Clips would look like preseason. Obviously, having Kawhi and PG at pretty full minutes will do that for you. But having Marcus Morris back, I think, equally as big for those minutes that, when they stagger. And be good to see him back on the floor. Cool. Other stuff. Yeah, other side of that game. So, Bucks do have some key guys listed. Giannis probable. We always talk about treat those probable tags as questionable tags. So something to consider with the knee. Bobby Portis still out. Marjon Beauchamp also probable on the injury report. But, what are you expecting out of Giannis? And then what, any increase here in the Chris Middleton minutes?
Giannis should be good. Again, should. As we always say, don't treat those probable tags like a normal probable tag. And worth noting, this game is in Milwaukee and it starts at 10. That sucks. For the people who live there, what's that, 9 local? That's a really late start time. Curious to see if there's if that's like pro Clippers, right? Like that's players are creatures of habit. You're kind of getting the Clippers like on their home turf time zone wise. But anyways, Giannis should be good. He's been great. Scoring in bunches. We saw the 50 ball in 30 minutes the other night.
Yeah.
Budenholzer says he's fine, but Middleton. So there was a good quote from, and we talked a lot about this. I'm expecting Middleton to come off the bench for at least deadline and maybe All-Star break.
Wow.
Budenholzer said after the game that they really like him to close quarters, first and third quarters. So that's a pretty clear indication that he's going to come off the bench. Minutes will tick up a little more and more. Maybe he'll summon a little bit earlier in the first and third quarters and kind of get him increased that way. But definitely expecting a bench role for the foreseeable. I'd be pretty shocked if he's starting today. Another comment from about a week ago saying they like the chemistry between Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, and Brook Lopez together with the 2-star players and Drew and Giannis. So yeah, it's really bumpy ride for Middleton, man. This is just
stuff.
We were above market in best ball, and
yeah,
those shares are looking pretty rough. So
yeah, I mean, couldn't have predicted the way this run out. Real tough. Yeah, man. Pat Connaughton continues to be good chalk, really amazingly. You'll talk about that on the DFS show at 5:00. But yeah, looking forward to watching that game tonight. Other situations to monitor: Miami, Orlando Robinson ruled out. Victor Oladipo doubtful. Gabe Vincent is questionable. We're expecting him to play once again. But, that front court depth getting murky behind Bam. Obviously, we saw earlier in the season when they had situations like this where they had to play like Haywood Highsmith center minutes and weird stuff like that. Obviously, having Bam there, you won't have to do that. But you might have to dip into those old rusty vets in Dwayne Dedmon or Udonis Haslem. So what are you expecting out of Miami with their current situation tonight?
Yeah. So Eric Spoelstra said they're going to look at Dwayne Dedmon and Udonis Haslem to fill some minutes in this spot. That's spicy meatball, but there's no chance I have any interest in playing Dedmon or Udonis Haslem. But Oladipo's interesting. Gabe Vincent, we've seen basically no overlap with him and Lowry. That could certainly be on the table. Oladipo's picked up a really big ball handling role in that second unit, especially when Lowry and Hero aren't out there. So I'd expect Vincent's minutes to overlap a little bit with Lowry. We've seen Max Strus really get pushed down as well. He'd get pushed back up. The question would be, do they add Haywood Highsmith into the rotation to alleviate some of the pressure on Caleb Martin, who is suddenly starting to play really well after he was really struggling? We saw him that close in Charlotte. Yeah, big minutes. He picked up, was guarding Donovan, did a really good job on Donovan in the last game. So yeah, I think Highsmith has a chance. But we've seen Spoelstra all the time go 8 comfortably over multiple game stretches. So I wouldn't be surprised if they keep it 8 and run up Strus and Vincent. We've seen Strus play, and Vincent actually more so play big minutes when they need him to. And maybe this also kind of indirectly helps Kyle Lowry, right? Like if you're going to be upping Vincent, then you may want to up Lowry as well, just to kind of cover yourself. If you're going to play 8, your starter's only playing 30-ish minutes. That's a little unusual against a team where they probably need Lowry to kind of have multiple defenders. Curious to see what the matchups would be. I think Lowry makes sense as a guy who would guard Brunson. He guards a lot of wings usually in their normal defensive structure, but Caleb really guards a lot of the wings and even ball handlers sometimes. So that seems like an RJ assignment. So I think Jimmy would get the Randall matchup there. But I think Lowry's could be a good Lowry spot. Lowry's been really cheap in DFS. Minutes haven't been there though.
Yeah, it's been very hard to project minutes wise, right? We saw him get close up to 30 a couple games ago, right back down to 24 in this last game. He's been so cheap that I've been wanting to take these shots, and I played him in bulk on Tuesday, and it really did not pay off for me. So tough one. Another situation you'll talk through there. That'll be at the Garden tonight.
You going?
No, I don't have tickets for that. I have a half season package. I don't have tickets for this particular game. All right. Doubtfuls and out tags. I think Grizzlies are the main one to talk through here. Obviously on the back-to-back. I have listed Danny Green out. That's not a surprise. Just made his return last night. Steven Adams still out. But Jaren Jackson also listed doubtful, which is, a pretty big wrinkle to what their rotation be tonight. We saw Xavier Tillman start last night. What do you expect out of the Grizz tonight, assuming obviously Jaren won't be out there?
Yeah, should be Santi Aldama. I was dead wrong on saying Xavier Tillman won't start. Shout out to Winky. He had kind of called that in our chat yesterday. And Winky and I are friends, and he texted me. Actually, it took him like 5 minutes to text me. I was expecting the Insta text when he started, but that was a great call. And he played pretty well. Obviously the scoring wasn't there, but expecting Santi Aldama to get the start. And then, filling in. I don't think Clark's going to overlap with the power forward minutes. He hasn't been very good in that role. So, maybe they play a little bit smaller with bringing in, I forgot to see, Konchar's questionable, I believe, right?
Conchar, I have the 130 guy. I saw he was, there was a note on him before. No, not on the injury report at all.
Okay, there we go. Yep, he should be back. Okay, so yeah, he'll probably be back. They'll probably play a little smaller in the second unit.
Zaire is questionable though, so that's
what if Zaire can't go, that would probably bring in David Roddy. So starting lineup of John Morant. Should mention Desmond Bane, 26 minutes last night. That certainly looks like they were managing him there. We've seen coming off injury with the foot thing, certainly a longer, more severe injury, but knee soreness, no joke. Definitely think he's probably doesn't have 32 minutes tonight. In kind of bad matchup, sort of, just with a good defense on the other side. So Bane's not going to be a great option. So Dylan Brooks, obviously, Santi Aldama, which I said, and I mean the Tillman wins were good. And I mentioned this on 3-ball that their defense has been really bad, and I think their starting lineup has been very good. They've been giving up a lot of at-rim stuff at high efficiency to non-good rim teams. So I think Tillman kind of just won the job to try a new look. So I would assume Tillman to start again. Bench unit of obviously Tyus, Zaire's backup 2. We probably see actually Roddy regardless. And then Conchar and then Brandon Clark the backup 5. I think that makes sense for how I see the 10-man rotation shaking out here.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. That is the first national TV game tonight on TNT. Memphis in Cleveland. Should hopefully still be a fun one. A little worried about Memphis on the back-to-back there. But all right. Other stuff that we got to talk through. So Golden State obviously played last night to your Minnesota Timberwolves. They played everyone last night. Haven't submitted an injury report yet. I don't know if we're going to get that in 7 minutes or not. But
we might.
We've seen obviously Klay Thompson not really play on back-to-backs. Them do some different combinations of things, but a lot of times they'll sit all these guys at once. So what are you expecting out of the Warriors here? Do you have any lean on how they might go tonight?
I missed the Memphis Grizzly PR updated just Zaire. He's probably not playing.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
For you said Warriors, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, I was looking at the update to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so I would be shocked. There was a quote too saying that they're unlikely to play him. They played like a 7-man rotation in the second half. Then I watched that game this morning when I was running through quotes. They looked tired, man.
Yeah.
I would be like shocked, and the market is fully expecting this with like a 12-point spread. So
yeah,
I think Curry for sure, Klay for sure, Dre probably for sure, Wiggins probably for sure, and then I think Poole. I had like a mini rant on Poole. I watched it again, because I have a million games on. Poole was so bad yesterday.
Yeah, he was bad.
But so he would be picking up huge minutes. Very much a this you need to rebound, man, because he's like costing them games, and this fit is disgusting. Anyways, so expecting us I haven't thought this through yet, but I would expect the starting line to be Poole for sure. I mean, Weiss. Looney probably gets back in the starting lineup. We've seen Looney go back in there when they're resting guys.
Yeah.
I think Kuminga probably has to start.
I would think Kuminga
just to kind of get more out of him. Dante DiVincenzo would probably start, and then fifth starter, I guess Lamb, right?
Yeah.
So Poole, Dante DiVincenzo, Kuminga, Lamb, Looney.
Is there any chance they just totally punt? Like, what's the maximum amount of guys they could sit? Like, I obviously agree, Curry, Klay.
I would bet they're gonna. I would bet. Like, if you gave me like a minus 450 line, I would bet that like Steph, Wiggins, Klay,
right,
and Wiggins are all.
Would they ever throw in DiVincenzo?
Well, Wiggins actually got managed. Wiggins lost some minutes late. But he just makes no sense to play him. Right, he hasn't been 100%. He's been
I totally
pretty
agree.
iffy. Yeah, so I feel pretty confident, and the market's expecting this. Like, if it was just probably Klay, I think the line would be like -7, something like that. It's freaking -12. So
it's gonna be a critical DFS spot. It always is when they sit these mass guys, but like especially because guys like Kuminga and stuff like that are such prolific per minute guys. When they get the expanded minutes, like you're just gonna have to be on top of the news there. So you guys will talk that through at 5 o'clock. Hopefully, we'll get that news soon.
We will. I expect rollouts, man. I mean, there's just Steph was bad. Like I
Yeah, yeah.
freaking love Steph.
He was the
He
one.
had really bad turnover when they had a pretty comfortable lead that swung the tide. He needs a game off, man. He as great as he's been playing well, has quote unquote the pop, and he played terribly.
Yeah, we talked about liking
Austin Rivers like teed him up a little bit.
Rivers did very well. We talked about liking all those 10K point guards last night. And he was the one guy that missed. Ja was good, Dame was good. SGA, I guess, was a little underwhelming, but Steph was a big whiff.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Poole sat. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked.
That's what I'm saying. Like, could they sit Poole? Yeah. Could they sit DiVincenzo? I'm curious.
I'd be surprised if I would need like a lot of plus money to make that bet. We'll find out. I think we're gonna find out in 4 minutes. The Warriors are usually pretty good on reporting this. They are in Denver, so like when they're in New Orleans, they've been reporting an hour early. So I think we're gonna get it in like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
I imagine Vegas has nothing up, and they already are accounting for. Well, actually, the bet would be to make if they're playing guys, and I'm wrong here. Like you're getting the Warriors, who coming off probably one of their worst losses of the year, which we say all the time now because they have so many bad losses. But I think that's if they're all in, then I actually don't. It just makes and in altitude makes no sense.
I do think Kerr likes having Poole be the one active guy in these spots just to give him the hey, go ahead, have fun and chuck tonight type of role. Mm-hmm. Still a young guy that clearly likes to shoot and have the ball in his hand. So, I expect Poole to go on these nights. So the other really weird story and thing to talk through tonight is the Pelicans. So if you want to get real galaxy braining with bets, and I don't know what the lines are and stuff there, but they're going into Dallas, had all these different travel issues. They didn't get to leave until a couple hours ago
this morning. They're at the airport. I just saw they were at the airport.
Their buses busy. Yeah, the buses fell through. Like Larry Nance tweeted that the buses weren't even there to pick them up, so they were just sitting there. So their schedules are all out of whack. I don't know if there's much to discuss injury wise there. Their injury report isn't massive. It's just Dyson Daniels and Zion really that are consequential, but it's definitely worth talking about. And then also Brandon Ingram, we see his minutes started to creep up. I think he got up to 33 on the other night, which is great. So you're expecting him to get up to, could he get up to 35, 36 now? And anything else on this crazy Pels situation?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. So we'll see. I'm expecting Ingram to be pretty full. I don't have much to add on top of what you said. I'm surprised the line didn't move when that news came out. I nibbled at it just because Dallas. I think Dallas is kind of matched up pretty well with them. I'm not too worried about Herb on Luka. They are a team that can shoot a lot of threes. And I don't know. I just think that the Mavs actually match up pretty well with them, and just they're obviously not having shoot around. They're going to be not getting their midday naps unless they sleep on planes. It just seems like a spot where the line should have been affected. Maybe it already is, but Pelicans are playing terrible. They're on a freaking 9-game losing streak right now.
Exactly. I find it weird too. I also nibbled at the line for what it's worth. I've seen it move like a half a point since we've been on the show, but not much, So anyway, I think anything else? I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Let's just wait for what did you want to add on the Knicks? Because you wanted to say some stuff. So we're gonna get the injury report in 15 seconds. So
guys, go read Fred Katz's article in The Athletic about Emmanuel Quickley. And I made a joke on the show the other day that he should start to be considered for Sixth Man of the Year if he continues to play this well. His stats over the last 20 games, first of all, are insane. His defensive numbers, his defensive rating amongst all guards is like second in the league. To only like among qualifiers to only like
didn't get the Warriors. Gotta wait another hour.
Didn't get the Warriors. So anyway, that's my Emmanuel Quickley rant that he's been freaking on fire. Absolutely love that guy. Has what's really crazy about just the way the defender he's turned into is amazing. So been really happy.
We saw RJ Barrett's get cut. His minutes got cut out hard for Quickley, and they said they wanted extra ball handling against the Lakers defenders, which is something. But
he just didn't trust them to close. I mean, it was that simple. Like there's times where he just looks bad, and also defensively, like as good as Quickley has been defensively, RJ has been that bad defensively. So it's like it's been tough, man. I expect RJ to come out pissed off tonight and play well, but gosh, it's hard. Rob asked, where do you look for injury reports? NBA.com just literally puts
NBA.com injury report. Yeah.
On the hour, every
30
hour.
minutes.
So
at 30 minutes on every hour.
On the 30 minutes every hour. So we didn't get Golden State yet. So keep your eye out for that news.
Yeah, it'll be coming in an hour then, unless their PR puts it out.
Yep.
I'd be curious to see if there could be a beat scoop too. So,
Yep, for sure.
But yeah,
All
I
right.
mean, my point is like the CLV's gone if the Warriors are sitting people. Like, don't go run to bet that if you're that type of person. It's already baked in. The bet will be if they're in, then go the other way.
Any thoughts on this Jaren Jackson, the seriousness of the injury? People in chat are asking about that. Just a precaution, right?
Played 2 minutes. We saw him play 40 minutes over the weekend when they had 2 days off. I mean, I didn't see anything. Jenkins doesn't talk about it, so
yeah, cool.
I mean, I watched that game. He looked like he was fine. So
yeah, he looked amazing. All right, so that'll do it for this. For tomorrow's injury show, you'll have Mike Gallagher and the great Justin Fan for the big Friday slate. And I guess it's not that big. What is it tomorrow? 8 or 9 games, so not
decent,
huge.
Yeah.
Before I talk about behind the paywall stuff, please do support the people that are supporting us with Underdog Fantasy.
Yeah, the show is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Still running NFL stuff. They're running 2023 stuff. You know, I people who had a lot of. I don't think they're running Best Ball Mania yet, but you can run some stuff early. I love seeing the crazy people bake in the rookies and stuff. But if you're playing NBA Pick'em, in-season subscribers could use our tool to compare ETR projections to their game. If you haven't signed up for Underdog yet, promo code ETR gets you a $100 deposit bonus match. That's promo code ETR at UnderdogFantasy.com. Again, Fan, over under 95 minutes for Fan and me tomorrow without Dink to have the guardrails up is probably the line. But
totally.
Yeah, I'm going to be digging in on the matchup stats for tomorrow right now. Should be a really fun show tomorrow. Excited for it.
Yep. And then today at 5 o'clock Eastern, Larry asked, am I on the 5 o'clock show? No, I am not. I have a doctor appointment with my pregnant wife for our baby, our 24-week appointment. So you will get the great Chris Lafakis tonight with Mike Gallagher. You're going to get team F the Math with team Only the Math. So it's going to be a great combination. But Chris has filled in a couple times. He's going to do a great job on this slate. So check that out at 5 o'clock Eastern behind the paywall if you are a subscriber. If you are not, please do consider subscribing. Obviously, doing great things on the DFS. A lot of our subscribers had great success last night. Our projections were in a fantastic spot. I saw ETR logos up and down the top 100, top 200, top 20 boards last night on DraftKings. So shout out to all the great ETR subscribers. Obviously, we continue to crush props too. So can't recommend enough checking out everything we're doing at Establish the Run. But if you do not want to support us with your dollars, please do support us with your clicks. Give us those thumbs up. Give us the subscriptions. You love to hear Drew Dinkmeyer, shorten down all of the Oklahoma City Thunder names. You can only do that here on this YouTube channel. So please do support us. And in all seriousness, appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, Mike and Chris back at 5 o'clock behind the paywall. Mike and Fan tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern, right here. Good luck on the Thursday night slate. Go Knicks, everybody. Take care.